Hello anyone who has the time or energy to watch this stupid video that I'm making. Today, in this video, I'm gonna hopefully teach you how to produce bigger and better burps. I often hear people burp and I just look at them and say, what are you doing with your life? Because they are so bad at it. Most people do not know how, when, or why to burp. And today, I'm going to hopefully teach you that. So burping dates back to the early 1500s. That's not true at all, I just made that up. Anyway, today I'm going to teach you 2 techniques on how to burp. They're not real techniques, I just made them up. Now, I would consider myself to be pretty good at burping, which isn't really a skill I'm proud of, but it is pretty cool to know how to do that, and, you know, I like it. Anyway, the first technique we're going to be covering is something that I call swallow burping. Now, that's not an official term, I'm just making it up, like right now. Anyway, this technique is used by a lot of inexperienced burpers, and it's kind of a beginner technique, honestly. Now, this technique is a lot easier, but it also has a better chance of the burp getting stuck in your throat, so that's why I don't personally use it. But basically, what you want to do for this one is you want to swallow air, and then, before it hits your stomach and it's still in your esophagus, then you want to open the back of your throat and just burp. So, that looks like this. Now that was a good one, but basically if this is your first time learning how to burp, you want to start out small, so you would probably do something like this. Now that's a pretty good burp for a beginner. Anyway, a common mistake that I see is people swallowing too small amounts of air far apart. So that just means that it has a better chance of getting stuck in your throat, so this is what you don't want to do. Because then, see, that one got stuck in my throat, and now I have air in my stomach that I don't want to be there, and I want to get it out. And so then, what you want to do to get it out is you have to keep doing that, and basically, if it doesn't come out, then you'll just have a bunch of air in your stomach, and that's what you don't want, because that hurts. Not good. You also don't want to take too big gulps of air, because then you'll probably have more time in between them for the burp to get stuck in your throat. So what you want to do, ideally, is take very big gulps of air in the smallest amount of time. Now that would look like this. That was good. Now that is probably the best way to do a swallow burp, but it also still has a chance of getting stuck in your throat. Now, on to technique 2. Now this technique I call continual burping. Again, that's not an official term, I just made that up, because I don't know why, I guess. But basically, this one, you just want to inhale. You don't really want to inhale the air per se. Basically, just act like you're swallowing water, except it's not really water, so you're kind of opening your chest. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically you just want to take one huge gulp of air and just like make it all in your esophagus and then blow it all out through your mouth, causing the burp. But basically that is a lot harder to do, and that's why it's kind of a professional technique of burping. Sorry, I'm not sure if there are burping professionals, but you know, I like to think there is. And I also like to think that they would be very proud of me for burping at such a young age. Anyway, this is an example of continual burping. So what you want to do for that one is, basically to get it started, it's kind of difficult if you haven't already burped a few times. It's kind of difficult to get it started, but basically, what you want to do is do a huge reverse burp, which I'm not sure you know how to do that, but basically, you want to basically just like swallow, but not really swallow, just open up the back of your throat. I'm not sure really how to describe it, but basically it sounds like this. And you want to just like continue that. Not repeatedly, just like one long. Then now after you actually get all of the air into your esophagus, you don't really want it to sit there for a very long time because it will have a chance to get stuck and then it won't really be good. But I do actually close my throat off after I after I get the air in my esophagus for a long continual burp. When I did that, that's when I closed my throat up. And basically, that just gives the burp more power, more time to just really, get going. But also, you don't want that to be too long, or it will get stuck, and then it won't be a very good burp. There is also a way of repeatedly continual burping, and you just do it so close that your throat never really closes up. And it kind of feels kind of cool when you do it. So basically, I'm not sure how to describe how you do that. You just burp continually, except you don't close your throat. Kind of sounds like a pig. Let's call it pig burping. Yeah, I'm gonna call that pig burping from now on. But basically, I didn't really explain how you want to start a continual burp. But basically, if you haven't continual burped before, you might want to, do one singular swallow, just to open up the back of your throat, and then just try and do the biggest swallow that you can. So. Now, if you do the swallow before, then I would recommend using your nose to get the air in after you swallowed, and just kind of use your nose to breathe in, except the breathing is actually going down into your esophagus. I'm not sure if this is your esophagus or your stomach. I'm just saying your esophagus because I don't know. But basically, yeah, so it would look like. Now that is kind of a beginner technique, but if you haven't burped at all before you do that, then it's probably a better idea to get some, some swallow burping going on, and then you get the feel of how to burp, and then you do the big, the encore of burps, the big continual burp. It got caught in my throat. I'm not sure why. I think I had too much water. But basically, yeah. Also, you probably shouldn't burp a few, probably 20 or 30 minutes after you've eaten or drunken. You've done this. Actually, that's not true. You can drink, but, after you eat is probably not a great time to burp, because it does have a huge chance of getting stuck in your throat. And for those of you who are saying this is unsafe to burp this much, you might be right, but I can only see it being unsafe if the burp gets stuck in your stomach, which I'm too good for it to get stuck in my stomach. That never happens to me because I'm just so good at burping, basically. But yeah, that basically wraps it up. Now stay tuned for the next video where I tie my nose to an air fryer and drop it out a 5th story window. Bye.